Hi writers, today I'm talking about the specific fear that causes procrastination. Now, some writers, actually most writers who struggle with procrastination tend to think that they're just lazy, they're just unmotivated, they can't get it together. But others, especially those who have already done a lot of inner work or may have been on a healing journey for some time now, have probably realized that their procrastination is directly linked to fear. They procrastinate because they are afraid. A lot of times writers, when they identify, oh, there's fear behind this, they then assume it's because I have a fear of failure or it's because I have a fear of success. So I don't want to write and finish my book because then what if it fails? If I never do it, then I'll never know if it would have failed. Or on the flip side, if I don't ever write and finish my book, it won't ever be a success and I won't have to deal with all of the things that come with success. So I'll never have to find that out either. So a lot of times they say that's why I can't get started. I have a fear of failure, I have a fear of success, or I have a fear, but I don't really know what the fear is of. I just know that I'm afraid to begin. Very few writers know the real fear that causes procrastination. The real fear that causes procrastination. And this is in almost every writer who suffers from severe procrastination, paralyzing procrastination, the kind of procrastination that goes on for years and years with no solution in sight. The real fear is the fear of self-expression. That's what's at the root of this. Writers who have severe procrastination are terrified to self-express. Now, this is because almost always in childhood, they were not allowed to self-express. Most of the time, these types of writers had a parent who was extremely codependent and identified through their child. That's the grown-up writer today. So the writer as a child wasn't allowed to have their own opinions, their own preferences, and sometimes their own identity. They learned very early on that in order to keep the love of their parent, or in order to keep their parent happy or emotionally stable, it was easiest and safest to only express what matched the parent's thoughts or feelings. Now, sometimes this is around really big things like where to go to college or what to major in college or how to conduct your life, who to date in high school or what activities to be part of. And sometimes this can be around really small choices about what type of food to eat or what is a favorite color or what kind of shoes you like. A lot of these types of writers have reported to me that from a very early age, they learned that when their parent asked them, oh, do you like this or this? The parent wasn't really asking to get their truthful opinion. The parent wanted them to say whatever opinion would match their opinion. So they would say, do you like the red shoes or do you like the blue shoes? And the child quickly learned that they needed to anticipate, oh, I can tell mom really likes the blue shoes. She really wants me to say that. I need to say I like the blue shoes because if I don't, there's going to be consequences that I really don't want to deal with. Mom's going to get upset or she's going to shut down. She's going to go emotionally cold on me. There's going to be some sort of adverse reaction that mom has. So I'm going to anticipate how mom feels. What are her opinions? What are her feelings? What are her thoughts? And then I'm going to match that so that I keep her love, I keep her emotionally steady, I keep everything flowing smoothly in the household. Now, this can happen with narcissistic parents, of course, because children learn that if they have any differing opinion from a narcissistic parent, they will usually be bullied or threatened, or there will be some sort of severe punishing consequences. In the case of parents who are not actually narcissists, but are instead extremely codependent, it's more of a subtle thing that goes on. It's not so much that the child feels like they will be bullied or threatened or in any kind of danger in that way, but they know that if they engage in true self-expression, if they really express their true thoughts, their true feelings, their true identity in the home to the parent, that the parent will become threatened because the parent will see them individuating away from them. Usually parents of this type appear very emotionally fragile, and the child, it sort of becomes the child's job in childhood to take care of that parent, to take care of that parent's emotions and make sure that parent's always okay. So the parent might use the child as a confidant or as a therapist, or have almost more of a peer relationship than a parent-child relationship. And there's always this undertone of, you are responsible for my feelings. You are responsible for my reactions. I'm really emotionally fragile. I can't handle a lot, or I can't handle certain things. You self-expressing your truth, you telling me your true thoughts and feelings and opinions and self-expressing in that way, I can't handle that. And if that's threatening to me and you do that, and then I have this collapse or I start to fall apart emotionally, that's on you. You are my child, and so you are responsible for my emotional state. Now, obviously, none of this is explicitly said in the household. None of this is said out loud. None of this is made clear. All of this is happening under the surface. This is sort of a constant undercurrent in the household. And for the parent, a lot of the time, it's completely subconscious. They don't really know what they're doing. They're not completely conscious of their behavior. They usually learn this from their parent. This is a cycle that's been handed down through the family, so this feels normal to them. It doesn't feel like they're doing anything wrong. So what happens with the child who then grows up to be a writer is that they learn from an early age that self-expression is dangerous because it causes a strong negative reaction in the parent. So self-expression is not allowed. The child really absorbs that message, and the nervous system of the child, which becomes the nervous system of the writer, who then grows up, the nervous system of the writer learns that self-expression is dangerous. It's going to trigger a threatening response in the people around them. So anytime the writer then tries to engage in self-expression, writing, painting, drawing, singing, doing sculpture, maybe even cooking or gardening, any sort of creative activity that they need to bring their essence to, the truth of their soul to, their vibe, their energy, their feelings, their thoughts, any activity that embodies that for the writer is going to feel dangerous. So the writer will have a real push-pull energy around writing. They will really want to write because they really want to self-express. That truth is still in their heart. That has not been crushed out. That's still there. That's still a very strong need. But then when they begin to do it, that alarm system, their nervous system is triggered and says, no, this is dangerous. We need to shut this down. So what so often happens is writers get into a really vicious cycle here that's hard to get out of, where they try to do it, they feel shut down, they try to do it again, they shut down again, over and over and again, until they really just give up. The way out of this is to begin with small steps that acknowledge that your nervous system is having an actual reaction to any act of self-expression. So we are going to work with that. First, we create a safe space in which to self-express. A private journal is great, a private journal with a lock on it. A locked drawer or a password-protected file on your computer. I also say no rereading. You know, once you write something in your private journal or you write something and you put it away in the locked drawer, you don't go back and reread it. You're showing your nervous system that what you are writing, the way you are self-expressing, is actually going to remain private, that it's in a protected container, and you're taking the fact of that protection very seriously. Your nervous system is watching what you do. Your nervous system is clocking everything. So you really want to keep showing your nervous system evidence of, I've made a commitment to protecting a safe space for self-expression, and it truly is a safe space. No one's going to find this, no one's going to read this, no one's going to see this. This is just for the act of self-expression in this safe space, and that's it. And after that, it's locked away. It is safe. If you are a writer who has this kind of reaction to self-expression, first of all, I do urge you to get in touch with me. My email is lauren@laurensapala.com. I have a silent writing group I do every month. It's silent writing sessions over Zoom. And we come together to create a safe space together. We write for 1 hour, 3 times a week. It's a very safe container. There's no sharing, there's no critiquing, there's no sort of criticism. In fact, no one talks on the Zoom call except me. I do a meditation at the beginning. But it's a really nice way to kind of dip your toes into the water of writing within a protected container. and beginning to show up in a small, gentle way that feels okay to your nervous system and that gets you in the groove of creating a new cycle within yourself, sort of new pathways in your brain of, okay, this is all right, this is safe, I'm seeing over and over again that I can show up once a week, twice a week, even 3 times a week for my writing, and it's okay. It is safe, it is protected, and I'm not triggering the alarm system any longer. So that's the first thing. If this is something you're really struggling with, please get in touch with me. I'll get you in the silent writing group. Second, please subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of videos, the link between trauma and problems with writing, which is actually a much overlooked link, but it's a really deep, insidious link. A lot of writers who have trauma also have problems with procrastination and perfectionism. A lot of writers who have narcissistic parents or suffered narcissistic abuse in a relationship now have problems with writing, with self-expression. These things are really directly linked. So please subscribe to my channel because I do a lot of videos around this type of content. And lastly, please subscribe to my newsletter. You can get all the updates and announcements on classes I'm doing, seminars I'm doing, the silent writing group, new articles I'm putting out, new videos I'm putting out, lots of resources, lots of information. So that's also a great place to start at laurensapala.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. I'll see you next time.